There is a large number of informal settlements around the world not fully understood by urban planners. MTB is offering a one-stop solution for governments, NGOs and private companies to map these areas by combining drone footage and satellite imagery. Our first market of entry will be Amman in Jordan, and for that we will need an initial investment of 100,000 euros. We will hire a developer for the app and the website, a local key account manager and a data scientist, and we expect to have a positive operating result in year 3. Throughout this project, we will be engaging in the subject of urban morphology. The founder team consists of 4 people, starting from the left with Sophie as our sales and marketing manager, Michaela as our CEO, Margarita as our CTO and HR manager, and lastly myself, Alexander, as the CFO of MTB. So, here you have an agenda for the presentation. We are going to go through the 5 phases of the VCW framework to end up with the target market for us to enter with our mapping solution. We're starting with phase 1, and we are going to be defining the main challenge we aim to solve, and we're going to go through an analysis of our macro environment, the possible strategies to pursue, our competitors, customers, stakeholders, and the KPIs. So, we have defined the potential customers of MTB to be governments, NGOs, and large private companies within the urban planning sector, and the challenge we're facing is to find the geographical market of which to enter. So, let's define what arrival cities actually are. Arrival cities or informal settlements is an urban area that is offering affordable housing with close access to a larger city and its functions. These cities can possibly be a breeding ground for many issues due to their inherent lack of thought-through, coherent infrastructure. The vision of MTB is to be Europe's forerunner in mapping and analyzing urban areas, and the mission is to create a societal impact by improving the quality of life for the inhabitants of informal settlements. We will do this by providing state-of-the-art VHR satellite technology, along with the complementary drone footage to NGOs, governments and private companies engaged in urban planning in arrival cities. So let's define urban morphology and why it's important for us. Urban morphology is the study of human urban settlements and their formation over time. We are exploring spatial patterns and physical characteristics of these areas and buildings to help map out the underlying structure. In a little bit more detail, you can divide urban morphology in 3 different levels: district level, block level, and building level. Different techniques are used to correctly map these structures, but they all fit together to get the bigger picture of the urban area. So, relevance of EO for MTB. The EO industry was already reaching more than $2.7 billion of value in 2019, and it's expected to grow approximately 8.5% per year over the next years. There are huge opportunities arising from AI to capitalize on the output from satellite imagery, making it an obvious choice for us to use as a central tool in our solution. MTB wants to aid in the urban planning process for arrival cities by filling the structural knowledge gaps for researchers and constructors. By using VHR satellites and drone footage to model, measure, and categorize arrival cities, MTB service can be used to help urban planners solve some of their inherent issues. This includes highlighting areas with high crime rates, improving access to basic necessities such as healthcare, and to improve quality of life by reducing environmental pollution, noise, and visual pollution. By fulfilling these needs for NGOs and governments, MTB will simultaneously be striving to mitigate some of the issues outlined in the SDGs, European Green Deal, and the Paris Agreement. More specifically, MTB will aim to increase the access to clean water and sanitation in urban areas and help build better infrastructure to hereby reduce social inequalities in a path towards more sustainable cities and communities. A pastel analysis were carried out to define which macro factors were most important for MTB to succeed in our target market. Among other things were data-driven political decisions, a lack of success with integration efforts of refugees, along with a big intake of refugees, and furthermore we identified the wish to protect urban environments and the different types of pollution that exists within important, as well as the rights for us to use drones and satellites in their area. To help strategize the unique selling points of MTB, a SWOT analysis was conducted. As for opportunities, the surging number of refugees in arrival cities is most definitely poised to increase the need for urban planning and the technology to support it. The most significant threats for MTB to be aware of is the potential change of laws regarding data storage, processing and usage, as well as the possibility of failing to acquire the funding needed to launch our service in our first target market. So, based on the findings in the SWOT analysis, we carried out a TAUS analysis. MTB decided on a mini-maxi strategy with a focus on using AI and drones as complementary technologies to differentiate MTB from their closest competitors, and we decided to pursue a maxi mini strategy by establishing long-term partnerships with the local governments and mediators in our first target market. In the competitor analysis, we boiled down the closest competitors to 5 different companies, which you can see in the bottom box here. In the competitors matrix, we compared the features of VHR technology to the satellite imagery technology of the 5 closest competitors. And overall, we are in a strong position to create a competitive advantage for our specific market niche, that is urban morphology. Here you see a more elaborated view of the competitors, where we have also divided our competitors into direct competitors and indirect competitors to showcase which is the bigger threat for us. To analyze the business environment for MTB, we carried out a Porter's 5 forces analysis. In conclusion, we could say that the rivalry between competitors is moderate, as there are competitors in the upstream industry that provide this EO satellite imagery, but however a very limited amount of these competitors operate locally and have the tailored services within the niche of urban morphology. The potential customers of MTB, we have defined them as the governments of the local areas we are targeting, the NGOs and research organizations that are present in the area, as well as private companies with contractors or similar services which can use our service to better their own product. We attempted to involve essential stakeholders throughout the VCW process. And by doing that, we got in close contact with a civil engineer who has been essential in our pricing structure, the product development, and the general feasibility of our solution. This small part of the emails that has been sent to the stakeholders for them to help shape our products. And here you see the main takeaways provided to us by the civil engineer we engaged with, Nuno Costa. To measure the business performance of MTB, a number of key performance indicators were defined to determine if a key business objective had been met. For the purpose of easier distinction, the objectives and KPIs were divided into 3 subcategories: short-term, medium-term, and long-term. The short-term KPIs were all reached during the VCW process, whereas the medium and long-term KPIs is to be measured after the actual formation of the business post-market entry. The most important short-term objective, as you can see here, was to find the most suitable market for MTB to enter, with the KPI being to apply a minimum of 6 global filters and 5 local filters to find this market. For the medium term, MTB found the most relevant objective to be to regularly ensure a product market fit of our solution by fulfilling the needs of our clients. This objective is to be measured by carrying out a customer satisfaction survey to the key decision makers of the companies who are clients of MTB, demanding a minimal score of at least 5 out of 6. One of two long-term objectives deemed of highest importance is to have an established customer and partnership base in Jordan and eventually across borders. The corresponding KPI for this objective is to serve a minimum of 10 clients and to keep a customer retention rate of minimum 70% for 12 consecutive months. The other long-term objective of highest importance is to impact the urban planning and infrastructure of arrival cities positively for their inhabitants, with the KPI being to meet at least 3 SDG goals through the work of MTB's clients enabled by MTB's technology.
Moving on to phase 2, our goal was to create value. The purpose of this phase is to find solutions and filters that will assist in the process of determining the most suitable potential target market. Here, we combined creative thinking and research methods. We wanted our service to be aligned with the relevant SDG goals and not exclude any possibility of solutions. Therefore, we took all 193 countries recognized by the United Nations into consideration for potential target markets. Then, in order to come up with solutions and filters, we held a brainstorming session during which we applied the 6-3-5 method. Since the team had only 4 key decision makers, we could not reach a desirable number of filters. Nevertheless, using this technique, we gathered a broad range of high-quality filters across all dimensions of urban planning, which were essential to generate the final list of filters. We added all the ideas into a mural, which you will be able to see next. Furthermore, every team member conducted individual research in order to identify and determine all important filters to our project. We also sent emails to possible stakeholders in order to gather as much insight and information possible on what filters would be best, suitable, and most of value to use when determining our target market. So this is the mural after our brainstorming session. Now, taking all these methods into account, we came up with 56 filters, and we classified those filters into 6 categories depending on their nature: political and legal, environmental, technological, competition, social and demographic, and economic. Here, you can see all of the filters, and it is also evident that we gathered more filters in the social demographic category, since our company will be providing services in the urban planning sector to help with the determination of adequate places for building arrival cities. We are now moving into phase 3 of the VCW, which is categorized into 3 subphases: the idea selection, filter selection, and filter ranking, according to our final market, where our company will start its operation. Our team identified and analyzed the solutions and filters that we came up with during the brainwriting session in phase 2 by applying the poker method. The poker method is a tool that efficiently allows to validate, refine, multiply, or eliminate ideas and filters. This method was helpful in framing and analyzing each filter into the 4 respective categories, namely kill, review, multiply, and keep. Again, we took all 193 UN countries into consideration when applying the poker method to assure that all countries were examined. The team held another brainstorming session in which each key decision maker had to group the filters into the respective sections. Team members killed the filters that we could not find data for. We reviewed the filters where it was possible to find measurable proxies. As for the multiply filters, none were gathered in the sections as they were already very specific and we could not generate new ones from them. Lastly, we gathered the filters that were considered suitable and relevant to our project in the keep section. In the keep category, there were 13 filters left. Our last step in phase 3 was to rank the filters. Taking into consideration the 13 filters from the Keep category, each team member ranked them individually according to their importance, ranging from high to low relevance. Then, together, we arranged the filters into those three categories and we selected the filters with the highest relevance as the ones that could determine the best possible market location for a company. The high relevance category consisted of 9 filters, as you can see here, which we determined as our global filters. Global filters were determined the number of slums and informal settlements, the size of migrant population, the political stability, the Gini index, the percentage of urban population, the uneven economic development index, the SDG performance, the Global Innovation Index, and lastly, the drone permission per country. We further differentiated the local filters, where we selected 4 filters, namely the urban population, the proportion below the poverty line, population density per region, and total registered Syrian refugees per region. We further provide justification for each of the global and the local filters. For the global filters, the team members put immense focus on the first 3 filters, as the company's top concern was to target a company with a high number of informal settlements and slums, given that the company's aim is to provide solutions for proper development of arrival cities through EO. The highest importance was given to that factor. The size of migrant population was also considered an essential filter, as arrival cities are usually to be found where internal and external migration flows from increased demand for housing. The third most important global filter is the political stability, as it represents a consequence of poor economic development, and we need to make sure that the strength of the institutions and the level of corruption will not affect our operations to an extent where we won't be able to operate. Now, as for the local filters, the most important filter was the total registered Syrian refugees per region on the basis of the current situation in Syria. We believe that areas with the most refugees need our technology to enable stable urban development. We also highlighted the access to public water filter networks, as this filter was chosen due to the inherent infrastructural gaps expected to be correlated with a lack of access to a public water network. Next, we will be discussing Phase 4, which captures value and entails 2 steps. I will be introducing Phase 4A, in which the value creation funnel narrows down all filters ranked by the key decision makers in an order of importance and allocates all the selected ideas and solutions that suit the proposed filters. Firstly, we identified the most attractive market for MTB service using the value creation funnel and the multi-criteria decision analysis at a global level and reached to Jordan as our target market, as you can see here. Applying the multi-criteria decision analysis with the previously defined filters from Phase 3, we can see that Jordan scored 9 points out of 9, meaning that it passed all the applied criteria and filters, and had a small advantage over Brazil, Canada, China, the Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Greece, and other countries that had scored 8 out of 9 points. To support this result, our team conducted further research that indicated that Jordan received many Syrian refugees and migrants over the years, and hence the existence of informal settlements and slums. In 2015, the population of Jordan consisted of 41% of migrants. The urban population is estimated at about 91% currently, and 23.4% of the urban population lived in slum areas in 2018. Now, to determine the best region for our company to operate, we also applied the value creation funnel and the multi-criteria decision analysis at a local level using our local filters defined in Phase 3. and we derived the region of Amman in Jordan, as you can see here. By applying the multi-criteria decision analysis with the previously defined local filters in Phase 3, we can see that Amman scored 4 out of 4 points, passing all the criteria and being the most attractive region for MTB to enter within Jordan. Taking a closer look to Amman, it presents an attractive point for our company's service distribution, as it indicates Jordan's largest urban population and increased capital invested in the construction sector at 42.17% in 2016. One of the local filters we focused on was also the percentage of the population before the poverty line, for which Amman has very good indications, with only 11% of poverty rate in the region. In the next step, MTB identified 3 major customer segments, namely governmental institutions, private companies such as civil engineering and construction companies, and lastly, NGOs and research organizations. MTB looked further into governmental institutions in Jordan and identified key decision makers for MTB, such as the Royal Jordanian Geographic Center, the Ministry of Social Development, and the Ministry of Public Work and Housing. Since the Jordanian government has a low annual budget for direct partnerships with private companies, MTB determined that it is likely to cooperate with the Royal Jordanian Geographic Center, hence the possibility for MTB to work with the Jordanian government through local partners. As for the second potential segment, we believe that MTB can benefit from private companies' networks, knowledge, and experience. Through a market analysis conducted by the key decision makers for urban and civil planning companies in Amman, 5 private companies were deemed potential customers, which are also visible on the matrix here. This matrix defines the private companies' relevance according to their operation and focus on urban development project. We considered potential customers those who have a mid-global and local operation and a mid-focus on residential and urban development projects. The third and last potential segment are NGOs and research organizations, such as ACTED, AFD, and the United Nations that are active in Jordan. Market analysis for NGOs showed that organizations are present both locally in Amman as well as nationally in Jordan. The primary focus of the NGOs in the Amman region within the area of infrastructure development is on access to healthcare facilities, improvement of sanitation facilities, access to clean water, waste management, and proper housing. These are all factors that align and contribute with MTB's purpose and goals to contribute to the establishment of human settlements that are inclusive, safe, resilient, and sustainable. Now, after executing further research, it became evident that the contributions of those NGOs towards the development of Jordan indicate higher probability for future purchase of MTB services by NGOs. Furthermore, there are more key benefits of choosing NGOs as MTB's key segment, namely, high investment sums towards sustainable development of Jordan, which can lead to a higher willingness to invest in our company's technology. Intensive network capabilities with different partners can strengthen our company's presence in Jordan urban development industry. In addition, close alignment with SDG goals matches MTB's vision and mission to address chosen SDGs through extensive data analysis of EO and drone data, and thereby supporting the urban planning activities of our customers. A last benefit would be the better implementation of our company's technology through the amount of financial and non-financial resources provided in combination with the experience of the NGO staff. All this led to our final customer target segment. With a concentration strategy, MTB will focus on targeting NGOs and research organizations. That is, NGOs have a high presence in Jordan. There is clear need for high-quality EO data to complement their services and products. NGOs can also act as mediators between governments and MTB due to their extensive network. And lastly, NGOs bundle their buying power of individual activists and associations. We would like, however, to highlight that we are not completely excluding governmental institutions and private companies as potential customer segments, as we believe that they can support key customer segments for the further phases of our operations. By analyzing the customers' profiles, we found that our company's services would better serve NGOs and research organizations and maximize its profit by tailoring solutions to these clients. Our company therefore chose downstream positioning. MTB considers itself as the optimal provider of urban morphology tools, effectively decreasing the data knowledge and interpretation gap for the key customer segments of urban planning in the Amman region. To serve our clients well, it is important to have a look at our own vision, mission, and value proposition. Our company's vision is to be Europe's forerunner in terms of delivering proficient EO and drone data analysis and its interpretation to stakeholders in the urban planning sector. Having then a look at our mission, it is to address our chosen SDGs through extensive data analysis of EO and drone data and thereby supporting urban planning activities of our customers. Lastly, customers should choose to purchase MTB services as our company promises to provide state-of-the-art, very high-resolution satellite technology and its interpretation to our customers to enable them to actions on the morphology of a city.
In Phase 4i, we identified our geographical market and who we are targeting. Now, in Phase 4b, we'll present you our concept and prototype. We started by applying the Scamber method to tailor European space imaging technology to MTB service and further conceptualize our offer. European space imaging offers a very high-resolution satellite imagery of the selected locations to better determine the most suitable locations for rival cities. However, they are in need of a developed system to define the physical appearance of poor areas and classify these structures. So MTB decided to modify the European space imaging offer and also include live drone footage and data interpretation. Additionally, we adapt the offer by having NGOs, governments, and private companies as our target segments and partnering up with local civil engineers. All of this will be offered through our app and website. After we identified MTB's demand structure. So on the left we have our offer and on the right our different customer segments and how they interact with each other. For example, governments can give funding to NGOs and NGOs can do partnerships with construction firms. Additionally, we decided to offer 3 different plans with different price points so that each customer can choose the plan that fits their needs better. Firstly, we have the basic plan with monthly reports, visualization of EO data, investment opportunities, and SDG reporting. Then the regular plan where we offer everything that's in the basic plan plus live drone footage, 3D visualization, level of detail 1 object detection. And then in the premium plan, we also offer consulting services, workshops, and outlook reports. We based our pricing in our costs since we didn't get any answers from the European space imaging or our competitors. So we based it in our costs and involved our key stakeholder, civil engineer, that advised us to higher our prices, and we did. MTB will employ its service in the downstream industry by obtaining raw data from the upstream industry. Specifically, we'll obtain EO imagery from the European space imaging and live drone footage from a local drone distributor such as Sager. All of this data will then be transformed into comprehensive interpretation and tailored solutions. MTB is able to solve three main problems our customers face. The first one being cooperation between NGOs, governments, and private companies, by taking a mediator role between them and offering them a platform that can be accessed by all of these key segments. Secondly, another problem that MTB helps to solve is the interpretation of the data, since we offer really comprehensive interpretation of all of the live drone footage data and the satellite imagery. Thirdly, we also help with the accessibility to the data, since you can have it all in one of our platforms, either in the website or in the app. You can access all the information from anywhere. MTB can face both local and global competitors. Firstly, at a global level, we have CareMap, Maxer, and Skywatch, who are international companies targeting to the global end user, with really easy-to-use interfaces, but also options for more advanced analytics and visualization. Also, DJI Enterprise is the biggest manufacturer of drones worldwide. On the other hand, at a local level, we have Sager, locally operating drones in the Kingdom of Jordan, and the Royal Jordanian Geographic Center, supplying governments and private companies with all types of mapping. With the Blue Ocean Strategy Canvas, we're able to identify what differentiates us from competition. MTB is a one-stop shop for our customers, offering live drone footage, satellite footage, comprehensive interpretation, and tailored solutions, while competitors are trying to serve a wide range of customers with a generalized services. In conclusion, MTB can follow Blue Ocean strategy if it focuses on shaping its services to the urban planning in Jordan. Moreover, MTB identified three potential partners. The first one being Sager, that offers drone footage in Jordan and could help us in the beginning, since in the beginning we don't plan to have our own drones but to outsource the live drone footage, and MTB could outsource it from Sager. Secondly, it would also be beneficial for MTB to work with the Royal Jordanian Geographic Center, as they offer mapping of Jordan and could help us gain more knowledge about the market. Thirdly, MTB could also partner with civil engineering companies and benefit from their customer base, and also provide our customers with reliable construction firms to take on their projects with. Regarding our 7 Ps, MTB offers EO and drone data and its interpretation and tailored solutions to understand the morphology of the cities and where it's better to build an arrival city. We are promoting our service by addressing potential customers through marketing emails and in urban planning conferences and events, as well as having our own social media platforms. As I've already mentioned, we have 3 different plans with 3 different price points. So the basic plan costs €300 a month, the regular one €350 a month, and the premium plan €400 a month. In terms of place, we want to start in Amman in Jordan and then expand to other regions within Jordan and in the future to other countries. We'll need to hire an app developer, a data interpretation expert, and a local key account manager. And in terms of process, we'll start by having access to raw updated EO data and then translate it into a comprehensive reports, while managing relationships between our different customer segments and also our partners, and constantly innovating and improving our business model. Concerning our physical evidence, we'll have a co-working space in Amman and also a strong online presence through our app and website, but also our social media platforms. With the value proposition Canva, we were able to identify how MTB will solve customers' pain points by reducing data interpretation and application problems, and also having a user-friendly platform. All of this will allow our customers to have more efficient cities and transform the given data into actual efficient solutions. Furthermore, we created a prototype for both our website and app to illustrate how user-friendly they will both be. And in the website, you can see that in the left side, you have access to your profile area with notes and past researches, assistance 24/7, frequently asked questions, and access to all the main features we offer within the main page. In the app, you have access to the same information. It's just a platform that it's easier to access from anywhere at any times.
For Phase 5, I would like to present to you the 3 M's in more detail. For the money pillar, it can be said that it is MTB's goal to focus on expenses that will bring the most add value to their value proposition in the long term. To get more into detail, the main cost of MTB will occur in the year 1, which includes the initial cost of funding the company, the expenses for the development of the MTB website and app, and the kickoff marketing campaign. The main costs will account for the registration and business name and app development, and afterwards the costs will be relatively stable and measurable. Moreover, it can be said that the expected revenue for the next 3 years shows relatively high growth potential for MTB. More detailed, the main revenue stream will be the basic service, as we believe that we can acquire at least 4 customers from our key customer segments in the next year. The basic service will hereby account for 44% of MTB's total anticipated revenues. Now, to cover these initial costs and break even in year 3, we are looking for an investment partner or business angel with high network capabilities in the Jordan area to invest 100,000 euros in the exchange for 30% equity. Herefore, we already identified relevant investment partners. We particularly would like to engage with Numu Jordan, as they offer loans in the preferred size for growing businesses operating in Jordan who make positive and social economic impact, such as MTB. Coming to the second pillars of the 3 M's, we want to hire 3 experts, namely an app and website developer, a local key account manager, and data interpretation expert. With an investment in such expertise, we believe that we can carry out our business activities more efficiently in the next years. On the pillar of minutes, it is our main goal to launch the MTB app and website at the end of 2022 and to have at least 2 solid partnerships established at the beginning of 2023. Moreover, it is our goal to expand to other governorates in Jordan by 2024. Coming to the evaluation of our short-term KPIs we established in the first phase, we can say that we successfully applied 9 global and 5 local filters to arrive to the geographical location of Jordan. Moreover, we arrived to our expected growth rate of over 30% and got 1 stakeholder feedback, which was implemented in our decision-making processes. Additionally, we only met 2 times to arrive to our target market of Jordan. For the evaluation of our medium-term KPIs, we will prospectively measure our success, for example, by carrying out customer surveys and assessing the revenue per client. Moreover, we will measure our success by evaluating the value added for our customers, for example, extra cost savings or SDGs that were met. For the evaluation of the long-term KPIs, we will measure our success, for example, by assessing the number of signed partner contracts and SDG goals met by our customers. Additionally, we will measure our success by evaluating customer feedback of new product features that MTB plans to launch in the long term. In sum, MTB creates value by offering a one-stop shop for governments, NGOs, and private companies by integrating EO and drone data in one single interface specifically designed for urban planning. For that, MTB wants to emphasize the focus on trust creation and strong strategic partnerships with local stakeholders in the Jordanian market. Now, for the future, MTB hopes to establish strong partnerships in Jordan and across borders and to improve the MTB app and website according to the customer's feedback. In the long term, it is MTB's goal to expand to other countries with rival cities who are in need of MTB services. So, taking all of the project in consideration, throughout the project, we learned a lot of lessons. For example, the importance of having a team with different backgrounds and consequently different perspectives, which allowed us to achieve more creative solutions. Additionally, during the whole project, we as a team highly valued the flexibility of the framework, which allowed us to go back and forth between phases and stages, as we found new information and understood that changes needed to be done in the past phases. Also, we realized how important it is to engage with the external stakeholders and to get their opinion on decision-making processes. Lastly, we learned how important it is to have a structured framework such as the value creation wheel to transform complex problems into concrete solutions that will help us with our business model. Now here you can see some of our personal takeaways which we've gathered, and in some we are grateful that we had our team with a lot of different cultural backgrounds and perspectives, and it guided us through the project, and in some we are done with the project, and thank you so much for listening.